You heard my post about helping transition out of a W-2. So tell me a little bit about where you're at and where you want to go, and I'll see if I can help a little bit.
The security as the father is the biggest uncertainty, I guess. And like you mentioned, I mean, operating from that uncertainty, my kids and my family is number one. Concerned about, I guess, even retirement or even being able for me to carry my career to retirement within that W-2.
Most people, when I talk to about leaving their W-2, most of them think about it from a scarcity point of view, meaning what's the minimum I need to get by? What if you approached it of like, I'm going to leave my W-2 100%. I'm going to find a way and it's going to happen. And I'm going to leave my W-2 when it no longer makes sense to be there because I'm making too much money on the side. Welcome to the Mindset Alignment Coaching Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Dries. Don't forget to join me every Monday at 10 a.m. Central for a free mindset alignment. Go to MondayMindsetReset.com. And today I've got a guest with me, an amazing human being named Austin Kennan. He's dialing in from Arkansas, a little bit rainy today. It's rainy in Austin, Texas. I literally had a river running through my garage yesterday. Hope you didn't have a river running through your garage today. Austin, how are you doing?
Doing good. Doing real good. How about you?
Awesome. I'm doing fantastic. Nice to connect with you today.
Yes.
So you know, we kind of just met. So tell me a little bit about yourself. How old are you? Where do you live? What do you do?
So I'm a high school agriculture teacher in Arkansas, North Central Arkansas. I'll turn 40 this year. I'm married with 4 children, and I've been teaching high school, I guess, for 16 years there.
4 children. I got 4 boys. What do you have?
I've got 3 girls and a boy.
3 girls and a boy. A little different than my house. Mine's basically just fighting all the time.
It's about the same.
Awesome. So you're a teacher right now. You heard my post about helping transition out of a W-2. Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about where you're at and where you want to go, and I'll see if I can help a little bit.
So I guess we started the discussion in my house several years ago, I guess even pre-COVID, playing around with the idea is like, as we see education change, concerned about, I guess, even retirement or even being able for me to carry my career to retirement within that W-2. So we started fishing and playing with the ideas. We bought a couple of single family rentals, and then we have a really good dog breeding business that we operate, and then I've really just kind of grown over the last 2 years. Opportunities have come along and kind of growing on my single families, but stuck in that middle ground of getting them going, and we're just really getting them having enough time to dedicate to that while still fulfilling your W-2 commitments. You know, I'm doing a good job in both, and then still being a father.
Okay, so what is the target you're after?
Ultimately, our target right now is to get me away from my W-2 income, to be able to have enough horizontal income built and enough side hustles going that I can make that leap to let go of the vine and go ahead and have my financial commitments good for my family. I can service debt and have the confidence to move on and carry on that lifestyle as we transition to something further.
Okay. Is your wife working too?
She works from home. She manages the real estate and rental aspect, and she manages the dog business as well.
Okay. And how much are you generating on a monthly basis from your real estate business?
So right now I am, in terms of total, you're talking about gross from that?
Yeah. Well, like what do you clear? Like what goes in your pocket on a monthly basis from real estate?
I'm right now we're breaking even to losing money because I'm running 50%. I'm in the middle of a remodel on 2. So I've got 2 that are cash flowing I've got tenants in both of those. And then I'm trying to flesh out and get my other 2 up and going. So really we're break even right now on both those. I'm not a positive income or profit right now on those. We're just breaking even on them.
Okay. Got it. And how much does income does your wife make from home from the dog business on a monthly basis?
You know, with the dog business, it's really variable, and it seems to cycle. we've made anywhere from 40 to 100,000 through that business.
Okay. So would you say it averages to like 4,000 a month or 5,000 a month if you were to average it?
Yes, but because you're looking at a litter and then adding value to that puppy and then fulfilling that inventory, the throughput, it's kind of variable. So it's not a steady, hey, it's 4,000 a month. It's never, it comes in waves, and then you've got your dry periods.
Understood. And how much are you netting from your W-2 every month?
So I'll net about 3,500.
Okay. 3,500. And what's your monthly overhead? Or your expenses?
Off the top of my head, and what the wife primarily has always handled finance. I mean, and we sit down and meet with it. I'm going to say my total overhead, I would say is 3,000 is where we're at, because we're still able to set aside and save. We've been saving 400 a month is what we've been doing out of my W-2 income.
Okay. And how much do you have total in savings?
Total in savings, probably 30.
Okay. All right. So you've got savings, you've got kids, you've got some income from your real estate business that's going to pick up after a remodel. You've got some seasonal kind of business, and you're making full-time about 3,500 a month.
Yes.
Okay. So where are you at right now as far as the trajectory, the plan, the time frame to leave the W-2?
I don't have a set target because of the unknowns, I guess. With that security of income, I don't have the target to leave. Ideally, I would love to leave within 2 years. If I could walk away and get enough.
What are your current plans to generate income outside of your W-2? Is it more real estate, or is there some other things you're looking at?
Yes, so the real estate aspect, but I know that that's not going to be enough cash flow for me to get it going personally yet. We have started a nonprofit with what we've seen in our area in the Ozarks. We've seen a lot of people, and even I guess nationwide after COVID. We started a nonprofit business called Forward to the Basics, and with that, originally just kicking around the idea as an ag teacher, I would have people come to me and ask about a homestead or their farm or how do they garden, getting advice there. We took the idea and we've tried to flesh that out and continue that to where we can get that almost not so much as a coaching method, but really as a consulting. How can that person that wants to do that stay back on the land and be successful if they're getting away, and using my skill set? So that's one angle that we didn't mention that I am consistently trying to flesh out and get going in terms of advising those people that have no agriculture background. So that's another angle of that I probably really ought to explore heavier.
Do you anticipate being able to pull a salary out of the nonprofit?
Yes, I would like to. My goal is to grow that and to grow following and that support group to help people in terms of them being able to produce food on what they're trying to go do, that where I can draw an income out of that business model. Yes.
Okay. Great. Thank you for sharing that. So how specifically can I help you? Like, do you have any questions? Like what type of coaching can I give you to help you move faster?
I guess focus. I mean, focusing on what is the best route for me to focus on. I feel like we're life supporting everything that we've got going on, and it's so hard with the life support of those multiple businesses that we've got going while we're trying to do that, and W-2. So my time being gone there is, I guess, really strategy of my next step in terms of coaching or time management to clarify and focus on which steps can really truly make the biggest impact going forward.
Okay. So what I'm hearing you saying is that what should I focus on, and what next step should I take to be an entrepreneur, full-time entrepreneur? Let me ask you this question. If, let's say, for example, your day job disappeared tomorrow, if it was gone, what would you focus on in the next 90 days to make money?
I would finish my rental that I'm working on right now. I would finish it. I would jump on my other one and get it going. And so that I would have those two cash flowing. I'm running it at 100%. And then I've got opportunities on another property that I can infill and add another rental on it. But I would attack my two single families to get them up and running and occupied.
What do you estimate the monthly cash flow in your pocket from those two properties when they're up and running to be at?
The one I'm going to say we can cash flow $500 a month on it. That I'm closest to finishing. The second one, we're planning on VRBOing it, so it's hard to cash flow. I don't know how. I can't project how it would be yet. Going into the late season and summer season, I think it could be pretty good. It's just so unknown. And if it doesn't cash flow, we would sell it. Cash that in and move it in and further that direction.
Okay. In addition to those two, finishing up those two rentals, if your day job disappeared tomorrow, what else would you focus on in the next 90 days besides those two? What else would you do? You said you have multiple businesses that are kind of on life support. Like, which ones can you bring back to life or grow?
Yeah. So I'm in my rental business. If I was cut loose from that tomorrow, I would attack my rental business to get them up, to reduce the liability and reduce the debt. I know that they're cash flowing. I've got a tenant in it. That debt is secured and it's paid for, and we're cash flowing off of it. We're profiting off of it. That's what I would hustle at the next 90.
Okay. And what do you think? What number comes to your head if you think about let's just say again, hypothetically, your W-2 disappears. How much cash could you generate in the next 90 days from all sources?
From all sources? I think I would be losing money in the next 90 to get all three up and going. I don't think I could meet. I can have the one I'm working on right now up and going by March 1st. I'm securing that. It can be rented. I can get it going March 1st. The other one is going to be July. That would be probably the earliest. I'm going to be pouring into that further financially, putting capital and cash flow into the other one to get it going.
Okay. What if we extended that? Like, I know you're actually kind of looking at specifics right now on like where you could get it, but like, what's a number that pops into your head? Like, if your W-2 was gone, you had a full time to work on other businesses, what number do you think you could generate in the next 6 months? Like, what's possible?
In the next 6, if I get creative, we may do 30.
Okay. 30K. Yeah. 30K.
And that's talking,
which is,
and that's me brainstorming, thinking you're talking about I'm talking a workshop. I'm talking a field day type deal, showing mini courses or whatever, along with my background. I advertise that. And that could be, that would be close.
okay. So in 6 months, you think you could generate 30K. If we were to say the next 12 months, what do you think you could generate?
Away from W-2?
No W-2. Yep.
W-2.
Yep.
I mean, there's no limits. If I'm freed up in what we can go do, there's no limits in what I can create. The upside.
Yes, there is no limit, right? And your day job is what? About 42, something like that, annually clearing. You said 3,500 a month. So you're clearing about 40. Yeah. And you just said, Austin, you said, well, if I did 6 months, no W-2, I could probably make 30K. And I don't know if you noticed, but you kind of got a little bit lighter and there was some excitement that came up. Right. And what would happen most likely in that situation is you would find a way, right? You'd find a way. Of course you would. You're successful. You've got multiple businesses running right now. You're a husband, you're a father. You'll find a way. Right. So this next step is as from an employee to an entrepreneur is really more mindset, right? It's mindset. It's a decision. Because one of the things you said earlier, you said, if I had the confidence, right? The confidence to do it. And most of us have been conditioned to believe that a W-2 job is the safe way. That's safe, right? And it looks safe because we go to work, we do our job, and we get a paycheck every single time. Now, I'm not saying being an entrepreneur is harder or easier, but it's different, right? But the thing we need to understand is that school could terminate you tomorrow if they wanted to, right? So that we often assume it's safe, but a safe income is income from multiple sources. That's safe, right? You got a rental business, you got a nonprofit business, you got another business here. So, how many hours a week are you working with your day job?
During the springtime, I'll put in more. I mean, I'm not much over 40. I mean, I'm a 8 to 4:30 roughly with that. And then there'll be seasons that I go on a little bit later of the evenings or overnights or on the weekends slightly, during fair seasons and so on.
Okay. Have you made the decision to quit your W-2, to leave your W-2 yet?
Ultimately, no.
And that's why I asked that question. Because let's also notice that you can make a decision right now, but the action is in the future, right? Because you're operating from a point of
Correct.
view, which I call a frame, but basically this mindset point of view you're operating from is there. You're working the W-2, you're working on the side, you're working the other businesses. Some of them are on life support. You're trying to juggle with the time management. And my assumption, right or wrong, is that you're trying to plan your way into creating the success in these other businesses so you can leave your W-2, right? You're trying to create a plan to make that happen, right?
Yes.
But what's actually happening is your present state where you're making the decision from is uncertain, right? It's uncertain. Because if I checked in on how much you believed you could do it, I'm guessing you'd probably say 80%, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
80% believe you can do it, 20% doubt. And the problem with operating at 80% belief is that's misalignment. 100% belief is actually an alignment. Because what's actually happening is your brain and my brain, we've lived our lives based on strategy. Your brain, you want something, your brain figures out how to do it. You're a smart guy, you're an analytical guy, so your brain's trying to figure out how to do it. But where you're going is someplace you've never been before. You've never been a full-time entrepreneur. You've never ran these multiple businesses before. It's all brand new. And so I call that unknown, right? Unknown. And when we're operating in the unknown, most of us default to uncertainty. We get uncertainty in the unknown, right? So when we have uncertainty, we have doubt. When we have doubt, we have misalignment, right? So what we can do to help focus and pull you into alignment from a mindset perspective is make the decision that you're going to do it even though you don't know how, right? Because you can say, I'm going to find a way to leave my W-2 and I'm going to find a way to do that within the next 12 months, 8 months, whatever, but I'm going to find a way, 100%. right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like try that. Say that out loud. I'm going to find a way to leave my W-2.
I'm going to find a way to leave my W-2.
100%.
100%.
How does that feel?
It feels good. Well, and I guess, as we talked about the dog business, we set a goal to replace my income with that originally, and we did that. We checked, set the goal, did the goal, but I was not comfortable with that income and the economy leaving what I'm doing for that, a luxury business. That's where as a father, I could not do that, and we've used that money to plow it into the real estate aspects. But I just could not. I couldn't do that. But I agree with you 100% that by making the decision and figuring out how we're going to do it is a different angle, just to pull the trigger and say we're going to do it.
Exactly. And I completely understand your decision as a father. And if I was your situation, I probably would have made the same decision, right? So that wasn't the right time. But the point is, what I want to help you leave this conversation with is I want to help you create the certainty, because when you are in a place of certainty, when you're in a place of 100% certainty, that's a mindset of alignment. And that's where you'll start to have better ideas will start to show up. When there's doubt, when you're like 80% believe and you believe at 80%, you doubt at 20%, that's like your address in your GPS in your car is 80% right. You'll never get there. Will never work. And that's the way most people end up functioning. And our brains are always running strategies constantly. So the shortcut to remember is I'm going to hit the target even though I don't know how. Boom. Because when you say a decision like that, it creates certainty, because that decision creates a certainty. Can you feel that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how are you feeling right now about leaving your W-2?
I know I can do it. How is the question? I know I can do it. I know I can. I know that I can figure out how to do it. The security as the father is the biggest uncertainty, I guess. And like you mentioned, I mean, operating from that uncertainty, I mean, my kids and my family's number one, and I've got to take 100%. Care of that.
Okay. 100%. So you just said, you can figure out how. Mm-hmm. Let's move that a little bit more into alignment where it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So say that out loud. I am going to find a way, and I am going to leave my W-2. Like, try that. Say that out loud.
I am going to find a way, and I'm going to leave my W-2.
How's that feel?
It's good.
Okay. I can feel a little there. It's getting more certain. And that's what we want to do. So we're in that place of, and let me give you an invitation to a new point of view, because most people, when I talk to about leaving their W-2, most of them think about it from a scarcity point of view, meaning what's the minimum I need to get by? Mm-hmm. Right? That's the way most people, they're like, what's my income? Okay, I need to replace 3,500, or match that income. And that's the way most people think about W-2. But you get to approach that transition however you want. I'm not hearing you complain about your job and it's terrible and all of that, but so you don't seem tortured by your day job other than you want to do your own thing. So that tells me that there's an opportunity to approach this differently. What if you approached it of like, I'm going to leave my W-2 100%. I'm going to find a way, and it's going to happen. And I'm going to leave my W-2 when it no longer makes sense to be there because I'm making too much money on the side.
That's the no-brainer. But I see what you're saying. I mean, like you said, because when you go job shopping, you're trading money for your time. Yeah. And if you approach it from, I've got enough, like you mentioned, the scarcity versus an abundance. I've got enough abundance coming in through side hustles that this is not serving me anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Does that feel better? A better place to operate from?
Yes, to approach the problem solving from, for sure.
Yeah.
Is not worrying about how in terms of a scarcity. To approach the problem solving position of an abundance and in creating that abundance, it realigns your mindset, I guess, to problem solve differently. Yes.
So what is what is one or more of your takeaways from this call?
Well, I mean, one takeaway, I mean, the problem is always the solution. And, but generally we put our blinders on and we're solving the problem with the same blinders, instead of flipping that problem the other way around and inverting and going the other direction with it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Anything else?
Yeah. I mean, like to turn it upside down and think about, how can you, I guess the where you can make that W-2 a no-brainer, that it's no longer serving you, just to do that and align with that and make the decision that you are going to go and figure out a way no matter what. And then when it is no longer, I guess it's like 99 cent cheeseburgers on Wendy's menu. When you can get the combo, get the combo instead of comparing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love that. So is there a date you'd like to commit to being out of your W-2 by?
I'd like to not sign a contract for next year, to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, there's a handful of students that I care about that I would not like to leave, and I know it's going to be their senior year, and I'm their coach ag. I'm in their corner, but for my family going forward, I feel like I'm at such a point that if I cannot sign a contract next year, and if I can hustle till June and not have to depend on that, that would be my ideal. But if it's 2025 June, I can handle it.
Okay. Well, let's aim for this June to see what happens.
Right.
You can always kick it out. And have you read my book?
I have not.
Okay. Pick up a copy of this. It's also on Audible as well. And it'll help. This mindset perspective I'm showing you is from the book here called Do the Impossible. So that'll also help as well. Awesome. It was great to connect with you today.
Mr. Drees, you as well. Thank you.
All right. Are you good?
I'm good.
All right. Fantastic. Well, thanks for watching the Mindset Alignment Coaching Podcast. I'm Jason Drees, your host. To get your own experience of coaching, you can go to freeintrosession.com and my team will connect you and hook you up there. I hope you're having a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.